It's LSU, Georgia, and Athens. And by then they realized that let's keep him by himself. You know? he can be on the show every week, but we don't want him sitting with the guys who are making big money. So I sit in this little chair in Athens, and Chris Fowler over on the big set goes, Paul, big game tonight. Ole Miss. Excuse me, I got ahead of myself. They said USC is playing Arizona State in Tempe, and Lane Kiffin's 1-2 and struggling. You think he can get the quarterback situation turned around? I'm like, well, I didn't even know who the quarterback was. I mean, I knew that. I knew what the question was going to be,
Right.
but I also knew what my answer was going to be. And I said, first of all, Chris, I said, if Lane Kiffin's father was not Monty Kiffin, the famous defensive coach, I said, he would have never gotten this job. I said, he's been an absolute disaster. As far as the quarterback situation, I said, it really doesn't matter because Lane Kiffin is inept and incompetent to even attempt to straighten this out. I said, hopefully, the adults in the room will come to their senses. I said, because Lane Kiffin has turned into the Miley Cyrus of college football. He's an absolute joke, and the sooner that Southern Cal fires him, the better. I thought it was a pretty good take. The show ended a couple of minutes later. I went back. Everybody, schmoozes for a few minutes. Everybody has lunch. Nobody spoke to me. I mean, nobody. I was supposed to ride to the Atlanta airport with Gene Wojciechowski, and he just stay away from me. Get in the car, check my phone. I mean, it's the social media is exploded. Fly home, get to Birmingham. I'm still commuting. Go home every weekend. My wife picks me up at the airport. She goes, "What in the world? Why in the world did you do that? I mean, that was just so mean and negative." I said, "Oh, well, how are you doing?" And great to be home. Forget about it. I mean, I realized it was over. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever do another game day. So I go to bed, wake up about 6 o'clock in the morning, and just kind of, check my phone as I'm stumbling. Bunch of calls to my phone from 860. That's Bristol, Connecticut. Flip on the TV. Sports Center's on now. That's about 7, maybe a little later, somewhere around there. Bottom breaking news. Lane Kiffin fired at USC. My car. I literally, next thing I see, Lane Kiffin is the Miley Cyrus of college. And they said, how quickly can you get on? I'm on TV all day long. So years later, I'm sitting with Lane Kiffin. And, I mean, he blamed me.
Yeah.
And he continues to blame me. So he told me we got through it, but I finally asked him. I said what really Lane Kiffin called me right now, by the way. I said what really happened? He said this is exactly what happened. He said Pat Hayden was the AD, and his president met for coffee and breakfast, whatever time it was, and it was 6, 7 o'clock in Arizona while game day came on. And they were concerned about Kiffin. He ended up losing badly that night. And the president, and all of a sudden they said USC, so they turned up the sound in the little coffee room. And I did what I did. And the president looked at Pat Hayden and said, "That's humiliating." He said, "If we lose tonight, fire his ass." Kiffin swears that happened. And he was fired on the tarmac at LAX, as you all know.
Yeah. Wow.